Now, if you're considering a SOC 2 examination, you already know that you have options when it comes to what categories you would like to have in scope. Of course, you can choose the common criteria, or also known as the security category, the availability category, the processing integrity category, the confidentiality category, and of course, the privacy category. Well, if you like a plain English explanation of what's involved in the privacy category and whether or not it makes sense for your next SOC 2 examination, you come to the right place. Let's get started. Hi, this is Ryan Buckner, Chief Knowledge Officer for Schellman. So you're wondering whether or not you should include privacy in your next SOC 2 examination. That's an important question, and there are really two drivers to that decision. The first is, well, you need to include it if your customers say you do. And that's important because not every organization has to include any particular SOC 2 category within the scope of their assessment. The common criteria, those 33 criteria which make up the security category, are more or less standard fare for every SOC 2 examination. But whether you add to that the availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, or privacy is really a question of what are your customers and the users of your system expecting to see with respect to how you handle personally identifiable information. The second part of that is what promises or service commitments and service system requirements you make related to the safeguarding of personally identifiable information. So you see, there's an aspect of this that needs to be receptive to the demands on your organization from an information standpoint. If you've got customers or regulators or prospective customers interested in how you safeguard data, then including the privacy category would make all the sense for you. If your organization is primarily business to business, focused exclusively on safeguarding business data of relevant business partners, be they vendors, other third parties, or customers, then the confidentiality category probably makes more sense. However, if your organization is processing information, personally identifiable information directly to consumers or data subjects, then you would absolutely want to consider including the privacy category within the scope of your SOC 2. By far, most organizations, when they pursue a SOC 2 assessment, it does not include the privacy category. It usually includes just a security category, and then they will build upon that based on that specific customer demand. But if in fact you do process personally identifiable information, the likelihood that your interested parties, your business partners, and your prospective and existing customers will have an interest in how you safeguard personally identifiable information is likely to be very high. But to say that it is a mandatory requirement that only because you process personally identifiable information that you must include the privacy category is not accurate. Many organizations would be expecting that, but you do have the flexibility and the option to include it at a later date or not at all. So I know what we just covered could be rather complex and maybe even a bit confusing. Well, there are 18 criteria specific to this particular privacy category, and you're likely to have more questions beyond the 3 that we covered today. Now, if you have any additional questions related to the privacy category or any other categories for the SOC 2 examination, go to our website and reach out to us through the contact form to reach out to a specialist today.